When I was able to sleep, time would go on. Darkness would turn into people and places, and if the faces would change, the messages were always the same. Each night I would be warned of a person or thing. The night after my twist, with the rocky road, maybe I had eaten too much or was just figuring out the opposite sex had some power over me. I told grandmother I wasn't feeling well, and that I had decided to lay down for a bit. I don't recall falling asleep, but I do remember the dreams. My fever dreams turned into twisted warnings. I seen missing posters lining the walls of the bulletin boards and the help wanted sections of the River Daily. The River Daily was our local newspaper, that was ran by two older men named Pitts and Tom. Pitts was the son of Walden Pitts, the local granite quarry owner. Rumor had it they had to shut down after they found a cave full of crystals and bones. But grandfather said, they shut down due to flooding from the river. It made sense, if you dig below the water table it was going to flood, right? Maybe he just told me this, to keep me out of that place, but little did he know this was on my to-do list. The dream soon placed me and the girl I had met earlier, in the cave. Crystals lined the walls as if they were bits of broken shards of glass, piles of bones laid here and there, creating a path to a table and a throne made from bones. On the throne sit the rag man, and below his feet was Sam, chewing on the hand of a human. We walked along the path of bones toward the rag man, but something dark, a shadow lunged out and pushed us back. As this shadow pushed us toward the way we came, I feel backward, cracking my head on an old large metal cylinder. Looking back I recall seeing Dr. Pepper written on the side. Waking up from this strange dream, I had that feeling as if I had slept all night. On my nightstand was another note, beware the thin spot S.J. Something was strange about this morning. As I pushed back the green wool covers, great-grandfather was in WW2, and he had sent home all types of goodies to grandmother. Maybe it was the way the morning sun entered my room, but there were shadows moving about, as if they were working on something, doing something. I have always wondered what went on, when one sleeps, if there were things that came out to watch over you or worse, planned your day. Walking down the hallway, shadows darted under doors, and as I passed an open door, one darted under a bed. Grandmother had breakfast. Moving along, the smell of Mr. Black's bacon filled the air. Mason and Ethan were already at the table chatting away, planning the day's events. Little did they know I had other things in mind. Mindless morning chatter continued as grandmother cooked away, and for some reason I decided to ask her a question. Grandmother, what's a thin spot? Mason laughed. Ethan had that dumb confused look on his face, which I had grown accustomed to seeing every morning. She looked at me with the strangest face, saying, I am not sure what you're digging for here, but your uncle, my son, before the harlots of Vegas got their hooks into him, used to spend night after night in different places here in Red River, drawing pictures of the woods at night. He would come in each morning with his sketches, sit down for breakfast and say, Mom, I found another, a thin spot, a weak point between our world and theirs. For a while I thought he was out drinking or maybe even on drugs, but back then he was a straight 8. What do you mean by a weak spot? I asked. Let's see, this was around the time he had become overtaken by the writing of H.P. Lovecraft. He was sure that every word was real, the dark things, the things that lived in the water. He had come up with a theory, that there were places all around the world, Red River was one of them, where these things could interact with the living. Things? Mason asked. Oh yes, many things. Some creatures were small as flies, while others were as large as houses. And there was people. Yes, I think he said there were people that lived over there. Sometimes they would get stuck over here. Do you think something strange is going on in Red River? Ethan asked. Well, Ethan, our family has been here for a very long time, and yes, we have encountered some strange things, but we try not to talk about too much as we don't want to become a beacon for T.V shows and movies. Every town has its secrets. Some are just buried deeper than others. Maybe old people know things, but grandmother put her hand on my shoulder and said, there is something I have been meaning to give you, so when you get back it will be on your bed. Get back? Where am I? I was cut off by a knock at the door. It was the girl. I was already turning a bright shade of red, I felt hot, and maybe I was sick, I thought. Grandmother led the girl in, and introduced her as Lily. Lily, here is your bashful knights to lead you around the city. What's the worst that could happen? I thought to myself. Stay paranoid, my friends.